what's going on, people? Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host Jan. I do hope you lot are all doing well today, man. I really do hope that. And welcome back to Chelsea News, the daily series here on Football Therapy, where I consolidate news regarding Chelsea Football Club, present it into a package for you, the viewer, offer my opinion, but more importantly, ask for your opinion down in the comments section below. Yes, indeed, I've already done a Chelsea News video today with some things that I wanted to talk about and express this morning, but lots is happening at Chelsea at the moment, and there's a couple of things I wanted to discuss. I did want to talk about Willian again. I want to talk about what his agent has said with links regarding other clubs and what to expect, this, that and the other, and with loads of momentum on the Kepa exit story, I did want to focus in a little bit more on Chelsea's most likely replacement in Onana and why, for so many reasons, that fits Chelsea. So I'm going to go into that a little bit more. And of course, Timo has arrived at Chelsea. That's right, big Timo Werner. There's some footage available of him training on the Chelsea app/website, and he's done his first interview and said some very positive things about the gaffer and why he selected Chelsea. So before we crack into this good gear, a quick reminder to you guys to sub if you've not already done so. We're about to touch 80,000 subscribers. Mwah. Bellissimo, très très délicieux. So if you enjoy daily Chelsea Football Club content, mate, please do consider subscribing to this channel and hitting that all-important bell notifications icon. And if you want to do us a favour and help me out, please do drop a like on this video. That's very kind. Thank you, mate. Alright, let's get into it. So let's start with the hype ting. Timo Werner's arrived. We know he's watched the game at Chelsea, the 2-0 win against Wolves, and we know he's done some training. And yeah, he's done his interview and Chelsea have released it. His English is pretty darn good as expected, and you know what, he said all the right things as you would expect a young, intelligent, professional young man such as Timo Werner to do. He basically said Frank Lampard had a huge part of him selecting Chelsea as his next club, as his next destination. Of course, he met with Lampard and Petr Cech prior to the move, and they had loads of exchanges, and he said it was the main reason why he chose Chelsea. Not because of any particular club ambitions, although he was obviously sold the project, but for him, Frank Lampard's pulling power, he basically sold the dream to Timo, and he openly said, yes, it's because of Frank Lampard I signed. Now, he also spoke about Petr Cech as well, because he remembers the 2012 Champions League and all these titanic, gargantuan Chelsea figures at the time, and he said he wants to not necessarily become them, but he wants to be a part of this project, and essentially he wants to score loads of goals for Chelsea, which is exactly what you want to hear as a Chelsea fan. But granted, it's a pretty generic statement for a new striker to be saying, but he sounds pretty good, man. He talks about his individual player trait of speed, and he says, I'm very, very fast, and I think I'm perfect for the Premier League. And he, spoke of how Chelsea fans would expect him to score goals. He wants to score goals like he did at Leipzig. Hey, maybe even more, which would be incredible, obviously. I think Timo Werner knows that Chelsea create a lot of chances as it is without Hakim Ziyech or maybe even Kai Havertz in this side. He knows Chelsea create loads of chances. Pulisic, other creative forwards that I'm not thinking of. Chelsea do get loads of opportunities to score. We haven't converted, he'll know that. He'll know that there will be so much opportunity for him, and I think he's going to rip it up, to be honest. Provided he can just deal with like a few physical challenges early doors in the opening weeks. If he settles into the league after that, he's going to absolutely smash it. Alright, let's move on. Everyone knows about this Kepa Arrizabalaga saga going on at the moment. He really is done out here, man. So Chelsea are going to need to move on. I've spoken in my last video about options of how Chelsea can relieve themselves of Kepa's wages, which is a lot. I said 100k in the video. I think I was corrected. It's much more in the comments section, so always feel free to correct me when I'm wrong. And yeah, that's one issue. But another issue is obviously bringing in a new goalkeeper. Jan Oblak, best shot stopper in the world, huge commanding goalkeeper, financially probably not a realistic acquisition for Chelsea. Let's be real. Andre Onana would be about 30 million euros, which is less than 30 million pounds. He wants to leave. Ajax are prepared for him to leave. Bayer Leverkusen were actually in for him, but they've pulled out after a failed bid. Chelsea could probably even negotiate maybe £25 million for Andre Onana, which seems like an absolute steal for very good young goalkeeper. Now, I wanted to talk about this a little bit more because of the stylistic comparisons of Oblak and Andre Onana. This doesn't come from my brain, but I was listening to the Straight Out of Cobham podcast where Liam Twomey and Simon Johnson was speaking of this. I think it might have been Simon. He talked about how, yes, Oblak's the best in the world, but in terms of what kind of football they're expected to play, actually, Andre Onana is probably a better fit for Chelsea Football Club. Much like Chelsea, Ajax play on the front foot and they like to keep the ball and they like to be expansive and progressive and not necessarily, play for numerical mismatches, stuff like that, not counter-attacking football. Where if you look at the likes of Atletico Madrid, the kind of football they've played for the last few years, certainly in big matches, how Jan Oblak's expected to play. Now, it's not literally just saying, oh, he's expected to constantly keep match sharpness because he's constantly facing shots. I'm not so sure, but you could also make the argument that Ajax expect their goalkeeper to play similarly to Chelsea in terms of, a good footballing goalkeeper and stuff like that. Now, I'm not slagging off Jan Oblak's ability to do that, but stylistically, he hasn't been asked to do that over the last few years, whereas Andre Onana has. So off the bat, it could be a better fit for Chelsea Football Club, Andre Onana. To be honest, man, everything is seemingly beginning to stack up. The players, desire to come to Chelsea, the incredibly affordable transfer fee, and the fact how stylistically he suits our philosophical approach. Whereas you look at Oblak, incredible wages that we won't be able to pay / won't be able to make the deal happen financially. Does the player even want to come to Chelsea? I think he might have rejected us before. And obviously Atletico Madrid plays a very different style of football. So, you know what I mean? I mean, if you said to me tomorrow, Jan, you could have, one for free, of course I'm going to take Jan Oblak, but I just wanted to highlight the positive situation or the positive variables and attributes of signing Andre Onana to Chelsea. So of course the Kepa situation is something completely different in terms of getting him out, but getting someone in should be relatively easy provided Chelsea have the finances. Just qualified for the Champions League, that should offer additional finances. I think Chelsea will sign Andre Onana. Make sure you watch this morning's video for a little bit more detail on a potential exit for Kepa. Right, let's do another little update on Willian. His agent, Kia Jarobjian, what's his name? Kia Jarobjian. He's come out today and talked about Willian's situation. He says, look, we've turned down a big offer from the MLS. To be honest, that would be, you can imagine the MLS making a huge offer for Willian. He's just the age of profile of player before you get to 35, like early 30s, where you know you can play really well still and you're offering a lot of money. Apparently he has 2 concrete offers in the Premier League. One would think that's probably both Arsenal and Tottenham. We know he does not want to leave London, and it sounds like they're the most likely 2 clubs. He did go on to say as well they would not make a decision until after the last game of the season for Chelsea. Now, of course, we've got the FA Cup and the weekend, and then we've got the Bayern Munich game, and who knows, if a ruddy miracle happens, it could go further, but let's be real, probably won't. Now, this is interesting because there's conflicting reports out there at the moment regarding Willian. Of course, this morning I spoke of the reports saying that behind the scenes, Chelsea might have made a breakthrough, and I wanted to talk about Chelsea fans' perspective of Willian, and I kind of still make, my point still stands of an evaluation of how Chelsea should look at Willian's performance this season and whether we should keep him or not, because obviously none of that's changed. Frank Lampard, adores him in his squad at the moment. He wants him to stay. He's pretty adamant he wants him to stay. Chelsea don't want to give him a long extension, and they'd probably like him to go and take a big deal in the MLS, because no matter what you think of Willian, whether you think he underperforms offensively, which is true obviously in terms of his output, his numbers, you put Willian in that Jose Mourinho Tottenham team, he strengthens them. He's the kind of winger Mourinho likes. He digs in, he's good at physicality or dealing with the physicality, putting in the industry defensive work, scores the odd excellent goal / free kick. You're going to be strengthening a direct London rival regardless if you let him go, but that's obviously not a reason to give him a 3-year deal at Chelsea on high wages. I understand that. So it's a difficult one. I'm sure we'll hear loads of news stories coming out regarding this before the season ends, saying he's going here, he's going there, Arsenal are about to reach an agreement. Jose Mourinho wants him again, all these different things. This story is not done yet. I mean, most Chelsea fans would be okay for him to leave, perhaps even if he goes to Arsenal or Tottenham, but you know, if we lose to them, he scores the goal, the banter will be real. It'll be coming back onto us. It's not going to be, oh, you let a young KDB go. It would be like, oh, you probably should have kept Willian for a little bit longer and prevented him from going to a direct rival. Anyway, I'm really keen to get your thoughts and opinions on this. I really want the Willian situation general consensus from the fan base. What do you think? Let me know in the comments section below. I also want to hear what you think of Timo Werner. I'm really keen to get everyone's opinions on how many goals he's going to score this next season for us in the Premier League, maybe in general in all competitions. Get down in the comment section, let me know how many goals he's going to score, and do you think Andre Onana as well is the best option at this point? I really like reading your suggestions. I like hanging out in the comment section, so do comment, and if you've enjoyed the video, drop a like. That means a lot, and you're also welcome to follow me on social media at Football Yannick. I'm trying to do live streams again on Instagram, so make sure you do come follow me at Football Yannick. That is it from me, you lot. Enjoy the football, and I will see you later.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought. Body bag the verse, outlined in chalk. In my life seen trouble, hustle on the double. Silence on the trigger like my pick got a muzzle. Yo, chick like to guzzle, bad boy stay in trouble. I only love this paper, sorry I don't. I laugh me, baby.